birthday, Riley and birthday, and Tara planned to take her out for a high-end dinner. Lexi overheard them making the reservation. She immediately jumped in, demanding to come along. Trust fund money. Riley wanted to say no, but Mia was too nice and said they were all roommates, so it was fine. Somehow, Lexi ended up bringing Trent too. Mia, you don't mind, do you? Trent and I are a package deal. Riley rolled her eyes so hard they hurt. If they were so inseparable, why didn't she just move into the frat house? Mia was clearly annoyed but kept her mouth shut. Riley had ordered a custom birthday cake for Mia, shaped like a little yellow butter bear. Mia loved it. Riley was just about to put the birthday crown on Mia's head so she could make a wish. But Lexi snatched the paper crown right out of her hands and jammed it onto her own head. Lexi, what the hell are you doing? It's Mia's birthday. Lexi just waved her off. I just remembered, today is my birthday on the lunar calendar. I can wear it for a minute. It's fine. Trust fund money. Mia hasn't even complained. Why are you being so stingy? Mia squeezed Riley's hand under the table and whispered that they should just eat fast and bail. Oh. Riley lit the candles so Mia could blow them out. Before Mia could even take a breath, Lexi leaned over and blew them all out herself. All right, cut the cake. I made my wish. Grabbed the cake knife and casually decapitated the butter bear. Lexi grabbed a fork and shoved a massive chunk of frosting into her mouth. Oh, this is so good. Prize eating. Don't be shy. The three of them had completely lost their appetites. Lexi turned and snapped her fingers at a passing server. Excuse me. Another order of the bone-in ribeye. It was the most expensive cut on the menu, and bring me another one of those little chocolate cakes. Trust fund money. Lexi rattled off a massive list of expensive sides, staring lovingly at Trent the entire time. Right in the middle of chewing, Lexi suddenly stood up from the booth. Trust fund. She startled the three of them. Riley instantly flashed back to Lexi barking in the lecture hall. Her toes curled in her shoes. Lexi wasn't paying attention to them at all. Fund money. She was waiting for a signal from Trent. God only knew what he was going to make her do this time. Lexi's eyes locked onto the decapitated bear cake in the center of the table. Oh no. Trust was about to get it again. Sure enough. Lexi lunged forward and slammed her entire face directly into the cake. People at the surrounding tables gasped, horrified by the sudden violent movement. The roommates had braced themselves, but it still made them jump. Lexi's face and hair were completely coated in thick yellow buttercream. She looked like a monster. But she wasn't done. She stepped away from their booth and walked straight up to the table next to theirs. It was a couple having a quiet anniversary dinner. Brought her in absolute terror. Lexi casually reached down, grabbed a whole lobster off their plate, and shoved it into her mouth, chewing loudly. Rustin froed money. Then she walked away and targeted another table across the room. She kept grabbing food off strangers' plates and eating it barehanded. Assumed she was having a severe psychiatric break. Nobody dared to physically stop her. Lexi made a full lap before stopping dead in the center of the dining room. Nobody could have predicted what she did next. She pulled her pants down and started peeing right there on the restaurant floor. Riley, Mia, and Tara exchanged one horrified look. Trust fund money. While Trent sat there looking smug, the three of them grabbed their coats and sprinted out the door. They found a quiet bar down the street, bought a new cake from a local bakery, and celebrated Mia's birthday properly. When Mia blew out the candles, she made them all wish together. Riley's wish was simple: let karma do its job. Go back to the dorm money. They didn't go back to the dorm that night, opting to split a room at a boutique hotel instead. When they finally returned to campus the next day, Rexy threw the restaurant receipt right in their faces. How could you guys just run out on the check? And you ordered all this expensive stuff. Riley picked up the receipt. Trust fund money. The expensive stuff was all ordered by you. The only thing we ordered was the 3-person prefix menu. That was $689. This bill is for $2,800. The rest of that is entirely on you. Lexi crossed her arms. Trent and I were there to celebrate Mia's birthday. We were the guests. Guests paid they bill. Riley scoffed. Guests are invited. You shamelessly forced your way into our reservation. You ordered all the food, and if you don't believe me, go ask the restaurant for the security footage. Plus, you ruined Mia's $200 cake, so I'm deducting that from our total. Brought up the disgusting stunt you pulled in the middle of the room. Besides, is Trent really hurting for cash? A billionaire can't cover a $2,000 dinner tab? Second Riley insulted Trent. Lexi bristled like a cornered cat. Trent is loaded. Don't you dare talk about him like that. Fine, then consider it Trent's birthday gift to Mia. Ouch, ape, you're going to embarrass him. Lexi snatched her phone back and stomped away. A few days later, a video of Lexi at the restaurant popped up on Riley's feed. Out reposted by massive accounts and already had millions of views. It didn't take long for the internet to dox Lexi's entire life. Her school, her major, her full name, gesture were plastered everywhere. The comments were brutal. People were asking if college students had completely lost their minds and how someone could have zero dignity. Trust fund money. Then, the internet sleuths dug up Trent. Students from their own university rode the clout wave and uploaded the video of Lexi barking in the lecture hall. That made the scandal go nuclear. Trust bun. Eagle-eyed viewers noticed something specific in both videos. Right before Lexi had her public meltdowns, Trent was making a highly specific hand gesture. The internet identified it immediately. It was a master-slave command gesture used in an extreme underground fetish community. Once that gesture was made, the submissive was required to obey instantly. No matter the context, he was literally treating her like a trained dog. The public reaction was pure disgust. Fund her money, but there was no denying that Lexi had gone viral. She leaned into the infamy. She and Trent started a couple's channel and began live streaming. Christian trust fund money. Operating on the principle that all press is good press, brands started sponsoring them to sell cheap products. The nightly streams started pulling in real money. Fund money. Riley had assumed that once Lexi got some cash, she would move off campus and leave them in peace. Instead, she kept sleeping in the dorm just so she could flex. Trust and money. She started wearing designer clothes and flaunting them constantly. Riley, you're still using that basic skincare routine? I only use this brand now. Your trust fund money. One bottle of this is worth your entire cabinet. Riley just tuned it out like white noise. During the fall holiday break, Riley went home to visit her family. Late one night, she was scrolling through a niche, underground streaming platform. She stumbled onto a stream of a college girl who wasn't showing her face. Trust fund money, the background of the dorm room, looked incredibly familiar, and the streamer's voice was instantly recognizable. There were a few hundred viewers in the chat. Read into the mic. If we hit 10,000 viewers, I'll put some special ingredients in my roommate's facial cleanser. Fresh Slormun. The chat started asking what she meant by special ingredients. Lexi let out a nasty laugh. Good stuff. Very nutritious. It's not my first time doing this either. Gross. Last month, I spiked her shampoo. I think she noticed because she locked all her bottles up, but I put it directly on the faucet aerator too, so she couldn't avoid it. Pressured one fun Bernie. Lexi laughed at her own viciousness. The comments were split. Some people called her out for being a psychopath to a girl she lived with. Others egged her on, saying their own roommates sucked and asking for tips. The morbid curiosity factor drove the viewer count up fast. It hit 10,000 in minutes. The camera lens as she walked. When the camera uncovered, she was in a bathroom. She picked up a bottle of facial cleanser from the sink. Trust fund cleanser. She pulled a medical syringe out of her pocket. It was filled with an unknown cloudy white liquid. She shoved the needle into the nozzle of the cleanser and injected the fluid inside. Russian, she wasn't done. She pulled out a second syringe. This one was filled with a yellowish fluid. She injected that into the bottle too. Trust fund money. The viewers who just wanted to see a prank started dropping massive cash donations. Riley stared at the screen, her blood running cold. That was definitely her bottle of facial cleanser. Trust fund money. She clicked on the streamer's profile to check the IP location. It showed a different city. Riley breathed a slight sigh of relief, knowing she wasn't physically there right now. Brought back to the dorm after the break, she was exhausted from the train ride. She wanted to wash her face and crash. Throat fund money. She picked up the cleanser and squeezed a dollop onto her hand. Out of the corner of her eye, she caught Lexi standing behind her. Lexi had her phone raised, recording her, with a sick, triumphant smile on her face. Riley immediately turned on the faucet and rinsed the cleanser down the drain. "Why are you wasting product?" Lexi snapped. "Do you hate money?" Trust fund money. That stuff is expensive. She stepped closer, waiting for Riley to wash her face. Riley didn't give her the satisfaction. She just splashed plain water on her face, didn't brush her teeth, trusting, and walked away. "You're disgusting," Lexi yelled, "going to bed without brushing your teeth. You're a pig." Riley climbed into her bunk and pulled the privacy curtain shut. Trust Finn rotored. She opened the streaming app on her phone. Sure enough, the faceless streamer was live. Lexi had missed her window this time, but she was plotting the next hit. "Oceansure, my time of the month is coming up," Riley thought. "She's going to mess with my sanitary pads." Riley was right when she decided it was time to put an end to this game. First, fun's done. If you think injecting fluids into face wash is crossing a line, Lexi is about to find out what happens when you poison the wrong girl's hygiene products. Part 3 is where the trap snaps shut.